From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, July 14th. Today's going to be the hottest day of the week. A lot of sunshine and some humid air. Not as humid as yesterday, but it's still going to feel sticky out there. Highs look to swing into the low 90s. This could be our hottest day of the year, actually, as far as our Storm Track 8 weather team says. 2023 has seen some pretty warm temperatures, but apparently not like today. The highest temperature in Indy has been 91 so far. That was June 30th. Going to be mostly dry today. It changes into tonight when some widespread showers and storms are set to move in. An isolated, stronger storm could reach west central Indiana tonight with wind and hail the main concerns. Showers and storms will persist into early Saturday morning. As far as Saturday, it's going to have some activity, but it will move out late morning, early afternoon, then a potential for redeveloping Saturday afternoon into the evening. Highs are going to be in the low to mid 80s, so a little bit of relief temperature-wise for your Saturday. We were following breaking news this morning. Police in Lawrence say a man shot an 18-year-old woman who was trying to break into his van. It happened around 4 this morning on Kenyon Drive near 46th in Shadeland. Police say a man was sleeping in his van parked in his driveway after an argument and woke up to the woman breaking in. He shot the woman twice, who then ran off. Police found her in a home nearby with non-life-threatening injuries. It's not clear if the woman will face charges. The man accused of murdering Marion County Deputy John Durm will be in court this morning. He'll hear the charges: murder, robbery, and escape. Prosecutors announced yesterday they will seek the death penalty for Orlando Mitchell. Investigators say Monday morning Mitchell tried to escape during a transport, choking Durm with a handcuff chain. Mitchell was already in custody for the shooting death of his girlfriend outside an Indianapolis daycare last year. He's due in court at 10 this morning. The procession route is set for Monday's services for Deputy Durm. After the 11 a.m. ceremony at Gainbridge Field House, the procession will head east to the Criminal Justice Center for the 1042 radio call, marking the end of Durm's duty. The procession then heads back west to Illinois Street and north to Crown Hill Cemetery. We at Wish TV will carry the funeral live on Wish TV and stream it on wishtv.com. If you'd like to donate to a memorial fund set up through the Central Indiana Police Foundation, we have a link to that online. Just go to wishtv.com and click on the story in the As Seen on Wish TV section. You can find a link to the memorial fund in all of our coverage as well. The FBI has uncovered thousands of images and hundreds of videos on the Greenwood Park Mall shooter's cell phone. Greenwood police said the FBI found many of the photos depicted Adolf Hitler and Nazi propaganda. Police say several videos showed previous mass killings, including graphic footage of a 2016 shooting inside a mall in Burlington, Washington. Police say they found files showing the shooter claiming he was mentally unstable and depressed as well. An armed citizen shot and killed the gunman shortly after he opened fire almost a year ago. 3 people died in the attack. The FBI found a laptop the gunman had put in an oven with butane before carrying out the shooting, but police said that was far too damaged to recover any of the data. The Republican running for mayor of Indianapolis says the city would once again have a public safety director in his administration. Jefferson Shreve also says the city would hire 300 new officers under his watch. Shreve revealed his public safety plan yesterday. In it, he splits from conventional Republican strategy by calling for new gun rules, including changing the minimum age to buy guns and banning permitless carry. The changes would echo those the City County Council approved this week, even while calling them unenforceable. Shreve told our political reporter Garrett Berquist that he can change minds at the State House.
How exactly does that differ from what the City County Council already approved in terms of impact on the street?
Well, Garrett, it doesn't differ dramatically in several respects. However, this isn't just political pablum. This is to be a legislative priority of the Shreve administration that's going to get out in front of the next session of the General Assembly in ways that the talking points from the current administration will be nothing.
Joe Hogshead's campaign manager is responding to Shreve's plan through a statement saying the speech was a hodgepodge of repackaged programs that already exist and meaningless platitudes. And when it comes to Jefferson's relationship with the gun lobby, he was either misleading them in 2016 to get the NRA's highest grade, or he's misleading us now. And we now know the names of 3 people killed when a Greyhound bus out of Indianapolis crashed in Illinois. Illinois State Police have released the names of the men. Juan Vasquez Rodriguez was from New Jersey. Buford Paya was from Arizona. And Bradley Donovan lived in Illinois. The bus was headed west on I-70 towards St. Louis when it crashed at a rest stop Wednesday morning. 14 people were hurt. A leading local economist cautions that improving inflation numbers won't directly lead to lower prices. This week's Consumer Price Index report shows an inflation rate from last June to this June was 3%, a sharp drop from the 9.1% in the same stretch a year earlier. The Federal Reserve has set a goal of bringing inflation down to pre-pandemic levels in the range of 2%. Ball State's Michael Hicks explains that a return to normal does not mean things get cheaper, but rather that prices increase slower.
Everybody wants to go back to 2018 prices but keep current wages, and that's just not what's going to happen. There's a balance there, and there's still sticker shock, but we're still not nearly as bad off as we would think we are if we just looked at prices.
Hicks also cautions that world events like wars and pandemics can jumpstart inflation again. The second day of the Indiana Black and Minority Health Fair at the Convention Center is downtown today. You can get back-to-school immunizations for children ages 5 and older. There are also free screenings for cholesterol, diabetes, HIV, and more. We want to make it easy for you to find more information about the health fair. Just go to wishtv.com and find the story in the As Seen On section. President Biden is back in the United States after his trip abroad for the NATO summit. He landed at Joint Base Andrews last night. Biden spoke in Finland yesterday to cap off his visit to Europe. He highlighted Finland as NATO's newest member and says the military alliance remains more united now than ever.
A stronger NATO makes the entire world stronger. Mr. President, as your ally, we want the people of Finland to know the United States is committed to Finland, committed to NATO, and those commitments are rock solid. That we defend every inch of NATO territory.
During the visit in Finland, Biden also delivered sharp criticism for Russian leader Vladimir Putin and vowed to continue supporting Ukraine. It's likely a visitor to the White House is who left behind a bag of cocaine there earlier this month. CNN cites a source who says the theory is a visitor left the bag in a room over the July 4th holiday weekend after having been asked to put their phone in that area. Agents found the cocaine during a routine sweep. The Secret Service says there were no fingerprints or DNA left on the bag, and there's no lead on who it could belong to, but they are closing that investigation. The United States is marking a grim milestone. The first 6 months of 2023 mark the deadliest 6 months of mass killings on record. According to the Associated Press, a mass killing is when 4 or more people are killed within a 24-hour period, not including the assailant. A database from the AP and Northeastern University counts 28 mass killings nationwide from January 1st to June 30th. The previous record was 27, set in the second half of last year. Family members of those killed and wounded in a racist mass shooting in Buffalo, New York, are suing several online platforms and weapons retailers. The lawsuit was announced earlier this week. It claims Facebook, Instagram, Google, and other social media platforms contributed to the deadly shooting at Tops Supermarket last May. The suit says the shooter was radicalized by exposure to racist content online. It also accuses social media of being integral to the rise of white supremacy. The gunman is serving life in prison without parole. A federal appeals court says a local Catholic high school had the right to remove a counselor because of her same-sex marriage. A judge handed down the ruling yesterday. Shelley Fitzgerald worked at Roncalli High School for 15 years before being dismissed from her position in 2018. Fitzgerald sued the Archdiocese of Indianapolis the following year. The school previously argued Fitzgerald signed and agreed to a ministerial job description in her employment contract. It says she breached the clause by entering a marriage that is not valid in the eyes of the Catholic Church. The judge concluded religious schools have the freedom to choose leaders who are fully committed to their mission. New reports say Donald Trump's son-in-law has testified in front of a grand jury about the 2020 election. CNN, The New York Times, and others say Jared Kushner and former Trump aide Hope Hicks have faced questions from federal prosecutors. Grand jury testimony is secret, but the reports indicate the questions have centered on whether the former president admitted privately in the days after the vote that he lost the election. Today, screen actors plan to strike alongside writers in New York and Los Angeles. Leaders for the Actors Union voted unanimously yesterday to go on strike. It marks the first time both guilds have walked off sets in more than 60 years. It's over issues like pay and the use of artificial intelligence to replace their work. The expanded strike will shut down the small number of productions that have continued shooting in the 2 months since writers started striking. The governor of Texas and other state leaders face a new lawsuit over the state's TikTok ban. The app is forbidden on state devices. The suit is from a First Amendment Protection Institute out of Columbia University. It argues that the ban compromises teaching and research, including research into the app. The group wants Texas and other states to exempt some educators and researchers from the bans. Texas implemented its ban in December, citing espionage concerns. Today, actor Kevin Spacey is set to face hours of cross-examination in the sexual abuse case against him. His attorney is also set to present several witnesses on his behalf. Spacey testified in a London courtroom yesterday. He denied accusations he sexually assaulted 3 men and called allegations of assaulting a 4th man a clumsy pass. The 63-year-old celebrity has pleaded not guilty to charges including sexual and indecent assault. At least 2 other men have also filed suit against Spacey. A coroner has released the cause of death for Lisa Marie Presley. The findings: she died of a bowel obstruction caused by scar tissue from a past bariatric surgery. Presley was 54 when she died in January. The coroner says there were some medications in her system, but that drugs did not contribute to her death. She'd been open about past struggles with addiction. Lisa Marie Presley was the only child of rock and roll icon Elvis Presley. The World Health Organization is deeming aspartame as a possible cause of cancer, but says more research is needed. Aspartame is a low-calorie artificial sweetener. The WHO released multiple reviews. One concludes there's no convincing evidence aspartame is dangerous when consumed at currently recommended levels. The other says it's possibly carcinogenic in humans and animals, but may not be directly linked to liver cancer. For now, health officials are recommending moderating the intake of aspartame. To business headlines, Tesla is the most wanted car brand in the United States. AutoTrader released a new study analyzing Google search data of people searching to buy vehicles from specific brands. It found Tesla came out as the car make people are looking to buy the most in the USA, topping the tables as the most searched for car for sale in 25 of the 50 states. But not in Indiana. The most searched car in Indiana is a Jeep. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren says Lilly is still charging too much for insulin to uninsured people. Eli Lilly and Company earlier this year vowed to slash the list price of its generic insulin Lispro from $82.42 per vial starting May 1st. Senator Warren surveyed 300 pharmacies and says the price cuts aren't being implemented as planned. She says more steps need to be taken. J.P. Morgan Chase is scheduled to report second quarter results before the opening bell Friday, kicking off the banking industry's earnings season. Wall Street will be closing, watching to see signs that the banking crisis is over. Wells Fargo and Citigroup are also out today. Stocks like Disney, Netflix, and Warner Brothers Discovery could move today as the Hollywood actors announced a strike. The two sides are divided on a range of issues, including pay and the use of artificial intelligence. In the short run, the strikes could boost profits for the media giants. With filming shut down, they won't have movie and TV production costs, yet can continue to collect revenue from cable TV distributors. But over time, the lack of new content could hurt the media companies. The success of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour has had a noticeable impact on the economy. The Federal Reserve highlighted the impact of Swift's 3 Philadelphia concerts in its most recent beige book. Hotel revenues in the city surged to their highest level since the pandemic, thanks to Swift. This weekend, Swift's tour hits Denver, Colorado, and one estimate from the Common Sense Institute suggests the concert will generate $140 million for the state's gross domestic product. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.